to another episode of the Nashville Scoop. I'm Chris McKenna.
I'm Craig Candage.
And this week we went to Dicey's Tavern.
Dicey's is a pretty new pizza tavern slash, I guess, sandwich shop. Yeah. And they used to be called Parsons Chicken and Fish. During COVID, they closed down like a lot of other places. They basically a new paint job, redid the place, and now they opened up Dicey's. They're over on Chestnut in the Wedgwood, Houston neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Great neighborhood. It's up and coming. They're behind the Soho House. They're across from Live Nation. We'll get into the area in a little bit as far as what's around there and this and that.
And what isn't.
And what isn't.
Yeah.
Parking.
Yeah.
So the reason that we did a pizza place so early is Nashville's definitely not known for their pizza.
Right.
It took me about 8 months to find an acceptable pizza that I actually wanted to eat, and I did find it. It was Joey's House of Pizza. It was unbelievable. You felt like you were walking into a pizza joint in New York.
Right.
Their chicken parm, their eggplant parm, their pizza, it was all amazing. They had been in business for about 20 years, family run business. They were only open 11 to 3 every day, Monday through Friday. They did most of their money in catering, so they decided to shut down and I guess just do the catering, whatever. So
made their money and got out.
Yeah, and I mean if you
probably
ordered
had to
pizza
have
at
done
11
well,
o'clock when they opened,
Yeah.
like one slice, you wouldn't get it till 12:30. Like the
Nice.
line was out the door.
Wow.
But
now we got this place.
Now we got Dicey's.
Nice.
So my wife Jess has a list of all these places and that she wants to go to. This happened to be on the list, so we were just on a Saturday afternoon. Hey, let's go check it out. I was incredibly impressed with the pizza, and that's why I guess I was like, Chris, we have to go. We have to go check this out.
Yeah.
So I'm off the pizza search again now that we've done this. Yeah,
That's good.
So
you found a new spot.
Yeah,
So that's nice.
Yeah. Now, so we went there this week.
Yep.
And I'll start first.
Yeah, what'd you think? So,
By-
I mean, the first thing that I got to say is...
What was your first impression?
Well, here's the thing is there's one parking space. And that's literal. Okay, there's one. Well, there's two. There's a handicap space, and then there's one parking space. And when I drove up, I didn't have the parking space because you took it already.
Yes, I did.
So that's good. So good for you. This is all I'll say about the parking is that I walked about 3/4 of a mile just to get to this place. So that was the closest parking that I could find. So I guess that is what it is.
I think I was home by the time you got back to your truck.
Yeah. It didn't offer me a ride. No, you did, but still, it was 3/4 of a mile. So, I mean, there are parking lots that are right outside that I think you can use sometimes. Sometimes you can't, depending on time of day, day of the week, things like that.
Even the pay to parks are quite a distance.
Yeah. I mean, it was the closest that I could find, even on the street. So it was about 3/4 of a mile. So that was my first impression. I'm always not a huge fan of when I have to walk and park and walk. And the main thing, the main reason behind that is I'm typically bringing my family to these places. So the review is going to be what the review is, but typically if I were to go back or like rate things on how I'm going to go back, it's going to be based more on like a family type review. And no matter how the food is, I'm not going to go back to Dicey's just because of the parking situation. And that's just because I'm not lugging 2 kids and my wife 3/4 of a mile. So
Understandable.
Yeah. I mean, so that is what it is. All right. So we get in.
So going in there, they have kind of 3 parts to the seating. They have an indoor area, which has a little bar in there as well. They have a garage door that opens up in between that bar and the outside, which is like an outside covered patio. And then you go down some stairs and you're in a outside, more of a stone on the ground, picnic table type setting. So you can be indoors, outdoors, or outdoors.
Right. And you did take some decent pictures and stuff like that.
I did. Go to our YouTube or any of our socials, and you'll be able to see photos of it.
Absolutely. The one thing to say, though, is Dicey's Tavern is not a typical tavern that I would think of. You know what I mean? Like, it's not It's not bar like. It's definitely more restaurant than a tavern.
It's more
/
restaurant
bar.
sub shop
Yeah.
than a tavern. Now, the reason I think that they went with the name Tavern, and this is just strictly my opinion or why I think they did it.
Sure.
They serve a New York style pizza, but it's not the. I'm sorry, a Chicago style pizza,
yeah,
but it's
Chicago.
not the Chicago style pizza that you're thinking of, the deep dish.
Deep dish.
They serve the thin crust, crispy, cut into squares,
Right.
tavern style Chicago pizza.
Which I just learned was a thing. So I didn't even know that like Chicago was really known for two different style pizzas.
I did not
so.
know until recently when I actually got into it with a friend of mine who loves Chicago deep dish. Lived there for a long time, so I think it grew on him. I don't like it personally, and I judge you if you do like it.
Judge
so
me
you
all
know.
day long. I love it. So
I prefer the thin crust, crispy, Chicago style, much better. The only thing I don't like about the square cut is I'm also a crust guy. So when you do have that,
so we're definitely different in our opinions of pizza,
which is good.
because I can't stand crust. I'm one of those people that I'll eat pizza and almost all the time. I'd say now 75% of the time I'm leaving the crust.
Oh,
Like,
and I'm
I
the guy
just
that
go-
reaches over and grabs your crust.
Yeah, like my wife. Yeah, she does that too. So I'm more of like a sauce and cheese type of guy. So once it gets to the crust, I usually just move on.
So speaking of sauce and cheese, their pizzas offer and their sandwiches offer gluten-free and vegan options. So they offer 3 different kinds of sauce. They offer a classic tomato, a vodka sauce, and a Parmesan cream sauce for the pizzas. For the subs and cheese in general, they offer a vegan cheese and gluten-free subs or pizza. So
Yeah, I mean they definitely had a lot of options. So
yeah.
so I got there a little bit after you. You had already ordered, I think it was like your drink and stuff like that. So
I ordered a sweet tea, and what me and Chris found out was that it's the only restaurant in Nashville that doesn't serve a sweet tea.
yeah, no sweet tea.
Um,
It still baffles me.
We
It-
got
it
the,
really
we got
does.
the old how's unsweetened, and we'll bring you sugar.
Yeah. We don't have sweet tea, but I could bring you some sugar with it. I'm like, that is not sweet tea.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, another detractor for me, and haven't even like looked at the menu at this point, right? So I've walked in. I don't like the parking situation. I can't believe that they don't serve sweet tea. Then so I stayed with the regular tea, and he brought the sugar over.
I ordered a liquid Coke because I don't do that. I don't play the add sugar to my tea game.
Yeah. So, and then you want to know, it's almost strike 3. I almost got up and walked out at this point, right? Because it was parking, no sweet tea, and then you know what they did? Put a paper straw in my drink, and I can't tell you how angry that makes me that there's a paper straw.
I'm still nursing that sore on my lip from
God, it's
the paper
awful.
the paper drying to it during
I do not understand paper straws. I don't. I could go off for like an hour on this, but we'll keep it to the fact that I almost walked out because of strike 3
yeah.
on the paper straw. So,
Also understandable.
oh God, it's so irritating. But
So we'll get to the menu, and then we'll go into what we had. So the menu is they offer 6 different sandwiches. I got the Italian submarine.
Yep.
And they also offer, as far as pizza is concerned, they offer a 9-inch and a 14-inch. They do have some specialty pizzas that are a little out there. I mean, one of them is a hot pickle bacon cheddar.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't try that one. They have another one, power flour, that's, got some sweet onions, olive oil, black pepper, almonds, just some different things.
Right.
And they offered 9-inch and 14-inch only.
Okay.
So what I got there was the like I said, I got the
You got the Italian.
the Italian submarine, which is a hot gabagool capicola, Genoa salami, hard salami, mortadella, provolone, tomato, lettuce, red vinegar, and oregano.
Yep.
And then for a pizza, I just got just a straight pepperoni pizza.
Okay. So what'd you think? And then I'll get into what I.
So as far as the sandwich is concerned, very fresh meat, fresh bread. You can almost tell that it's made there. My lettuce was a little brown. I wasn't happy about that.
Right.
It didn't affect the taste or anything like that. But the sandwich was really good.
Yep.
I do feel like if you're gonna have bread as big as it is, you need more filler.
Right.
or
Got a little bready for you.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's no one wants to just sit there and eat
Yeah,
bread.
and I mean, I've definitely had subs that are bready too. The one thing that I will say though, it was definitely fresh bread at least, so
Yeah.
you weren't getting like the old stale bread, and that makes a bready sub even worse.
Oh
But
yeah.
at least these were tolerable, so that's good.
What did you get for a sub?
So for the sub, I got it was what was it, Swiss Turks. That's what it was.
Yep.
So mine came with turkey, Swiss. It had a pesto mayo, which actually was really good. Tomato, onions, lettuce, the red vinegar, and oregano.
How are those onions?
I pulled them off. I can't stand onions, so it's fine. That was my fault. I didn't tell them to take them off. So, but yeah, I mean, I thought my sub was fantastic. It really was. It was good. I'm not used to having the vinegar on subs and stuff like that. So, having it on this one, it actually was really good. I'll probably start doing it almost everywhere I go now. But yeah, I mean, with the fresh bread and all the ingredients to me were fresh. I didn't notice any brown lettuce. I mean, maybe there was, but I just wasn't looking for it. So, but overall, the subs were great. I really liked them a lot. So
Now, what'd you do for pizza?
Pizza. I went with a specialty pizza. I know you just went plain pepperoni. I mean, so the specialty pizza I got is called a Peppy Boy, right? And it's basically exactly what you got. It has like one extra thing, I feel. And it was just they put hot honey on it. So whether it's made like baked with the honey, or they have like a warmer honey that they put on afterwards, I have no idea. But it was really good.
Could you tell if it was like drizzled on or cooked with it in it? Or?
I couldn't really tell.
Okay.
But you could definitely taste the honey. So that was good. And I'm a big like sweets guy anyway, so I'm a huge honey fan.
First time having honey on pizza?
First, yeah, I've never even heard of it before, but it was great. So my one detractor with this, and I know we're definitely in different camps with this as well, is the pepperoni.
Oh yeah.
I am definitely not a fan of the style of pepperoni that they put on. I mean, pepperoni was fine, and the pizza was really good.
So what they use for pepperoni is like a fresh deli pepperoni, like the
Yes.
kind you buy in a big log and you cut your pieces off if you're having like a charcuterie or just cheese.
Yeah.
Pepperoni and
So you
crackers.
end up with your pepperoni grease bowl
Yeah.
is what you end up having.
so that the ends on it kind of curl
they
up,
curl up,
and the
create a
grease goes in
bowl.
the inside.
Yes.
And it's like a little pepperoni shot glass.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
and which I can't stand. But
And for me, that was the appeal.
right. So like I said, I think when it comes to pizza, you and I are definitely going to be on completely different ends of the spectrum as far as like what we typically like.
Absolutely.
But I mean, overall, honestly, as far as the food went, for me, the sub was really good. I would probably go back and just get the sub.
Right.
We both got big subs. I had half the sub and some of the pizza. I think you did the same thing. But it was really good. The sub was great. And the pizza, even though I don't like that style of pepperoni, still like the pizza a lot. It was really good pizza.
So the sub for me, phenomenal sub, with the exception of just more bread than insides. I only ate half of it. I did throw it in the fridge and went back after it later that night.
Yep.
And I think maybe because of the vinegar they put on, like the red wine vinegar they put on it, it doesn't
hold up.
It doesn't hold up real well. Yeah. So you're better off if you're getting a sandwich, eat it there.
Yeah. I mean, I did the same thing. I took it home, and even by that night, I looked at it and I was like, no, it's not going to happen. So that stayed. But what I will say is I took the rest of the pizza home, and I even waited until the next day. I think it was the next night, and heated that up, and it was. It's never as good as it is right out of the oven, but I mean, it heated up as good as it could possibly heat up.
I ate mine cold the next day, and I would say as far as cold pizza, it's probably top 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. I mean, when you have pizza that can hold up a day or two, I mean, again, that's saying something too. So
now take a look at our socials or our YouTube or any of that, and take a look at the pizza, because
we took some good pictures of it.
It's definitely different than most pizza you're going to find in Nashville in a good way. The cheese, they put on plenty of cheese, plenty of sauce, and they use a lot of seasonings, and you'll be able to notice that by the photo, and it adds a lot to the pizza.
It does. Yeah.
So take a look at those. As far as ratings are gonna go, I've been to, obviously we're both from the Northeast.
Yep.
You know, I'm from Maine, you're from
Just
Boston.
so you know, before you give a number, and so everybody knows, we don't know what we're rating. We come into these and we don't tell each other what we're going to be talking about and stuff, because we want to just make it as new to even us as possible, and you know, we just throw these ratings out there.
We don't want to sway each other, anyway
exactly.
either.
So what I'm gonna say before you give your rating is I'm gonna rate on the entire experience.
Okay.
So we all know that I've already said I love the pizza. I thought the pizza was great, and I thought the subs were great. So, and it's probably the best pizza that I've had since I've been here. So,
Okay.
So go ahead. You can give your rating, but I'm going to tell you
I'll
mine's going to be
I'll
an
give
overall.
a sandwich, pizza, and then an overall.
All right. Got it.
So my sandwich, like I said, it was a phenomenal sandwich, just because of the certain things on it didn't hold out well, taking it home and things like that. I've had much better here.
Yeah.
But it's still a really good sandwich, and I would go. It's got its own flavor where if you're craving it, you're craving that flavor.
Yes. Yep.
For that reason, I'm going to give the sandwich a 7.5.
Okay.
And when I say 7.5, don't think it's a low rating. Really, anything in the
I don't
7s
know.
or
The way
8s
you've
is
been
pretty
rating things, I feel like 7.5 is like me giving it something a 2. I feel like you're always 8s and 9s, but yeah, it's okay. 7.5. It's all right.
good. Sandwiches in the Northeast are just
They're
a
different.
whole different ballgame.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Now the pizza, at the other hand, it actually reminds me of my favorite pizza back home.
Okay.
The pizza joint.
That's always going to give a higher rating.
And it's one of those things, especially when you move away and you get that familiar taste or something that's familiar. It's always a higher rating.
Absolutely, because I have a pizza place that's here right by my house now, and you wouldn't rate it normally very high. I mean, it's a good pizza, but I'm not gonna like give it outstanding ratings. But because it reminds me of my favorite pizza back home, I mean, my rating would be like exponentially higher than what you would give it. So
yeah. So I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Okay.
8.5 for pizza is incredibly good for me. So,
rating.
I mean, I would give like Domino's a -4 or a Papa John's negative. So when you're taking that into consideration, like that's a really good rating for that. Now, my all around rating is going to be a little bit lower than that.
Sure.
And mind you, I love this place.
Yeah.
The food's amazing, but the parking, the lack of sweet tea, and the paper straws for me really hits.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it an overall rating of a 7.5.
Okay. All right.
Even though their pizza is my favorite pizza.
Fair. Yeah. No.
I don't want to walk a mile to get it.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, so same idea, right? I think, again, their food was great. I mean, if I was just going to rank food overall, I'm going to go, as far as the pizza goes and everything, I'm going to give them an 8 as far as good food rating goes. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that I thought it was really good. Overall, again, I'm going to rate this based off of if I would ever bring my family there, and I wouldn't. Again, parking, I can't. So that is what it is, so we'll find somewhere else to go when it's family time, but, if we go for like business lunches and stuff, that'd be the first place I would bring somebody to, so overall, I mean, you want to talk about those 3 factors really hitting between parking, the sweet tea, and then the paper straw. The paper straw.
I know that paper straw is one of your biggest pet peeves of anything.
Absolutely.
Too,
I'm talking like 5.5 to a 6. Like
understandable
overall. Like and those 3 things are huge for me. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna end up on the whole thing. But I mean, overall, food great, atmosphere is good as well.
Atmosphere,
yeah, it is. But overall, I'm going 5.5 to 6, and it's just because of those 3 other things. I mean,
I get it.
And here's the kicker with that, right? Is like parking is what it is. You can't change the parking. They're not creating parking spaces, but you know what you can do, Dicey's? You can change the sweet tea, and you can change the straw.
Exactly.
And we know a lot of people feel the exact same way.
And that'll probably jump up your total rating too.
Yeah,
if you did
absolutely.
That.
So just we're just gonna throw that out there, and we'll see if they make any changes, because of our hard hitting podcast here. So, but yeah, so that's it for me. Anything else to add?
Don't let the lower, all around rating stop you from going.
No,
because the pizza and the sandwiches are really, really good.
Absolutely.
You definitely need to check it out.
Yeah. It's definitely a must try.
And I know that the pizza game not being great here, it comes up in conversation a lot. Like, what's your favorite pizza place? Because I can't find one.
Yep.
So this is now my favorite pizza place. and I highly suggest going.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, anything else?
No.
Good. All right. Well, thanks for listening in. Review on Dicey's Tavern, and we'll talk to you next week.
Have a good week.
Download our episodes on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram at Nashville Scoop Podcast. I'm at The Nashville Realtor, and Craig is at Real Estate Rockstar.